At dawn, Mara Vey found a new statue kneeling in the unfinished garden maze. It had risen from bare soil overnight, a faceless figure with dew running from its stone eyes. When Mara touched its cold mouth, the statue breathed a secret that contradicted every bell tolling in the city. It whispered, "The king walked out alive." Outside the garden walls, the official reality was much louder. The palace bells were ringing for King Orys's death, marking 12 days since he was supposedly gored by a white moonstag in the royal forest. As a royal gardener, Mara was used to being overlooked. Her skin was darkened by the sun, and her nails were stained with soil, making her a part of the landscape, an invisible witness to things the court preferred to keep buried. But in this palace, grief had become a physical force. The mourning wasn't just a ritual, it was a heavily contested reality that was already beginning to visibly crack. Queen Sorelle sat in a mourning chamber stripped of all color. She was pale and severe, her red hair braided so tightly it pulled the skin at her temples, looking less like a widow and more like a blade under snow. She commissioned Mara to finish the black-yew maze by the 13th night. As payment, she handed over the king's gold signet ring, a heavy foxhead seal, and commanded that the labyrinth guide the public toward a closed central coffin. The queen was firm on the details. The moonstag had silver antlers, and the king had died before the hounds could turn. But when Mara asked if the king had been hunting near the northern orchard, the queen's composure broke. She issued a sharp, absolute prohibition against ever mentioning the Winter Gate. Sorelle was weaponizing the official story, using the maze to lock away a truth she refused to accept. Under Mara's care, the yew grew with a violent, unnatural speed. The hedges didn't form the straight walls she had planned. Instead, they spiraled and leaned, their black needles pointing toward the queen's balcony like thousands of listening ears. New statues emerged within the turns, detailed carvings of servants who had vanished on the night of the hunt. There was Hollis, the master of hounds, identifiable by the broken winter spur at his feet and the stone tears on his cheeks. Each stone figure whispered a different fragment of the same forbidden night: a travel cloak lined in blue, an open gate, and bread packed for a long journey. When the queen entered the maze and touched the weeping statues, their sorrowful expressions changed instantly into peaceful smiles. Their mouths began to move in unison, reciting her official story of the moonstag in rehearsed, hollow voices. The maze had become a scene of active resistance. The physical growth of the hedges was responding to the queen's denials, twisting tighter as the stone voices fought to keep their memories from being rewritten. Seeking the truth, Mara visited an old thorn witch beyond the orchard. The witch revealed that the seeds weren't the queen's idea at all. King Orys had ordered them months ago, specifically asking for a maze that could catch stories before they become law. Back in the garden, Mara discovered the labyrinth had a logic of its own. When she spoke a lie, the paths coiled shut, but when she whispered the phrase, "Wintergate," the black branches parted to reveal a straight passage. At the end of that path stood the Wintergate. Mara took the king's signet ring from her pocket and held it to the lock. The heavy gold fox matched the frost rings on the metal perfectly, proof the king hadn't died in a forest, but had used his ring to open this door. Mara returned to the center of the maze and used her spade to dig beneath the black stone memorial plinth. Buried in the soil was a chest containing an empty funeral cloth, a travel cloak, and a letter. The writing was the king's, warning that the queen's grief had begun to change the memories of everyone she loved. Orys had designed the maze as a final safeguard. He wanted to trap the queen's sorrow magic in one place, ensuring her lies about his death couldn't infect the rest of the kingdom. On the 13th night, the court gathered for the final ceremony. Lanterns hung from the yew branches as Queen Sorelle led the witnesses deep into the labyrinth. Under the moonlight, the rebellion began. The stone servants didn't smile this time. They wept and shouted the truth of the Wintergate to the assembled nobles. Desperate to maintain her story, the queen's grief tore the earth open. New, half-formed statues clawed their way out of the grass, their blind mouths screaming her version of the king's death to drown out the witnesses. Mara stepped forward and broke the royal seal on the coffin, revealing the empty interior to the crowd. She read the king's final words aloud, demanding that the queen be given one place where no one else had to become her proof. The screaming stones went silent. The court stood frozen, staring at the empty coffin and the gardener who held the truth in her hands. The maze reacted to the truth one final time. The lying statues turned to solid, unmoving rock, and the black-yew hedges folded inward, sealing the center away from the palace. A vision appeared in the clearing, the final night at the Winter Gate. The king was leaving, telling Sorel he could no longer live inside the perfect story she had made for him. Mara offered the queen a choice: follow the king through the unlocked Winter Gate to the real world, or stay inside the labyrinth. Sorel looked at the gate, admitted that she would only make him a villain if she followed him, and chose the maze. She stepped back into the shadow of the hedges, and the branches closed gently around her. By dawn, the missing servants were found asleep in their quarters, their true memories restored. The empty coffin was burned, and the Winter Gate was left standing open to the northern road. Mara continues to tend the garden, where one scentless black rose blooms every morning. Deep in the yew, a woman's voice can still be heard, practicing the words, "he left," until they no longer sound like a lie.